Hello friends and welcome to my channel. My name is Katja and I have been making this bulk costume from Askola, Finland for quite some time now. Although it is still missing some parts, namely the bobbin lace and the jacket, I've already worn it a lot. So I decided that it was time to give an update and show the costume in its current state. So how do I wear this costume? I start by wearing my shirt with the collar starched up. I'm also wearing red socks and buckled shoes that are unfortunately out of frame. Next, it is time to put on the linen petticoats. I have two petticoats that give my skirt a nice amount of fullness. This topmost petticoat has a handy modern addition as it has a zipper pocket that I can access through the slit in my skirt. The next comes the skirt. The skirt fastens with two buttons. The box pleat should go to the center front and the slit lace on the left hand side. The apron is made out of fine cotton. It has a ribbon that is tied behind the back. The ties can then be tucked into the skirt waistband. The vest requires a bit wriggling to get into. I'm too lazy to rethread the lace every time I put this on, so I just loosen it enough to be able to slide in. Now I have to tighten the lace. I tie a knot to the end and just wrap the extra lace to a bundle and tuck it into my vest. Now I'm almost done. I just need to wear my cap. However, I want to first show how I starch the lace. I use potato starch for this. I boil water and potato starch until I get clear fluid. The starch is now ready and I can leave it to cool down for a bit. In the meantime, I can prepare the surface for starching. I bought this styrofoam head just for this. Here I have a cotton gauze square that is soaking in water. I wring out most of the water and then pin the cloth over the styrofoam head. Now I can chuck the lace into the starch. It is still fairly hot, so I'm using a spoon to turn the lace around until it is completely covered in starch. Let's take the lace out. It is quite hot, but I can touch it carefully and take out the extra liquid. Now I start pinning the lace onto the styrofoam head. The wrong side goes up. This makes sure that there won't be any starchy lumps on the finished lace. The lace is supposed to sit right against the head. The top can be wrinkly as it will be covered by the silk cap. I let the lace dry overnight. The next day the lace is dry and stiff and I can take it off of the form. The lace can now be popped to curve to the right direction so that the right side goes on the top like it should. You can now see why my hair is in such a high bun. The lace is first pinned onto the hair and to itself at the back. People with short hair can wear a knitted headband underneath the lace so that the lace can be pinned to the headband. I have found that this is good enough for me. The silk cap has this handy tie inside. This can be used to hold the cap in place over my bun. After wearing this cap for some hours with a scarf over it, the cap has formed to my head and fits pretty well even without any pins. I still pin the cap in place through the edges. Now I need only a scarf. I'm ready to go. I filmed this bit in June when an open-air museum in Helsinki hosted the National Costume Show. People showed costumes they had recently made and there was folk music and dancing. It was nice to see the large variety of costumes in Finland. This costume is from Saxmäki. Her friend was wearing a Swedish national costume. And my daughter is wearing Munsala costume that is one of the most popular costumes due to its blue and white color palette. She is wearing blue ribbons in her hair, which is what unmarried girls do. This gentleman was among the folk dancers and was wearing a costume from Koivisto. Later in July, I took my costume to my parents' summer cottage. What would be a better place to take pictures of it? I love this place. The lake water is clean and it is a nice place to take a dip after a sauna. my folk dress, my mother also wanted to see whether she would fit into her Rautjärvi dress she made in the 90s. The water is warm, so we can heat up the sauna. The cottage is not connected to the municipal water system, but there is a pump that brings the lake water up to the cottage. We don't drink it, but it can be used for washing and things like boiling potatoes. If you want to wash with warm water, you need to heat it up in this big pot. These steel ones were invented in the 1930s, but before that similar things were built out of brick. I just need to fill this fireplace with firewood. And yes, it is not a good idea to wear white linen sleeves while doing this. Let's light it up and hope it catches. Now I have changed into a bit more practical clothes. So now we can warm up the sauna. This is a wood burning sauna. And so we have a warm sauna. It's a bit more modern than most summer cottage saunas. Right now the temperature is around 25 degrees, but it will soon heat up to 80 degrees. That is 176 Fahrenheit for you Americans. And if you want, you can use the pan over the stove to fry some sausages. My dad says it works very well, which is nice as I gave him this pan. And while we are talking about Dad, he can make awesome pancakes on open fire. Thank you so much for watching. Currently I'm busy learning bobbin lace to make all the laces for the costume, so subscribe to my channel to follow my progress. Plus, the Halloween is approaching and this year I decided to make myself a Victorian morning costume. So we will leave the folk dresses behind for a while and start working with a very somber outfit. Bye!